Yeah, Lori, what's happening? It is 5:59. Oh, 6 p.m. right on time. I think I got us early.
Hello, hello. We're here.
I've been working on this for all day, just on the tech stuff. No, I'm just kidding. I think I got it down last week. And
Oh, that's
we
funny.
are live here with the week 3 briefing for the Bloom and Burn Challenge. And man, we've got a lot to talk about. But
Yes.
how's it going? What's
It's
going
going
on
great.
today?
Rest day. No, I get
Sweet.
to train today. Um,
Oh,
I had a
okay.
huge block last week, over 1,000 TSS, and I actually missed
Wow.
one workout. Um, and it was big. And I did this weekend. I had 3 climbing days. I did about 150 miles with 15,000 feet over the 3 days. And it would have been a little longer, but we actually had like freezing rain and hail and 40-degree weather and cut a route short. But
Yikes.
But one of those days was
Yikes.
actually 60 miles with about 6, 7 feet on gravel and super technical and bumpy and a little sketch because it was out in the middle of nowhere. And at one point I thought, I'm alone. And
Oh,
there's all
man.
these signs from the locals that say, stay out, protected by Colt 45, no
Uh-oh,
bikes
yeah,
allowed.
watch
And it's
out,
a public
Lord.
road. But I thought if something happened to me, no one would know. Okay, I should probably
Send
think
your
about that.
tracking, man.
I
Send
know.
it.
You
Post
have
it
to,
on
I'm going to send it to
Facebook. Come on.
you.
Send it to me. I'll watch out for you, of course.
I
Yeah.
know.
Wait,
I
Lori's
know.
the little dot stopped moving and it
Yeah.
looks like there's a bunch of locals crowding around the little dot on the
With
map.
their
That's
Colt
bad. Yeah, I
45s.
will
Yeah.
I will call 911 and get you out of there
Yeah.
immediately. Oh, that's no good.
But it
All
was a
right.
big block. And on Monday, we did Mount Hamilton, which is 40-ish miles total. It's an 18.5 mile climb. So my big climbs this weekend, Saturday, I did a 3 mile climb and a 9 mile climb. Sunday, I did, there was one 14 mile climb. That was the big one. And then
Woohoo.
Monday, I did an 18.5 mile climb and with about five, I'm trying to remember now, 5 or 6,000 feet total. It was awesome. I was so burnt by the end. It was like I couldn't touch my quads; they were aching, and
Yeah, I bet. I
huge.
bet.
Yeah, and I got 2 days off in a row, which felt great. I was so excited to have 2 rest days, and I
And if
rested
you're
with the
there
exception
ready
of
to take that
yesterday.
load of training, yeah, 2 days will be about it, and it'll bring you right around, and you'll
Yeah.
be
Oh
you'll be
yeah.
good to go after that. Sweet. So,
I hope so.
uh,
So I got VO2 max intervals today. We'll see how that goes. But
I like
yeah.
it.
How
I
about you?
like
What
it.
did you have on the calendar last week? What did you do?
The calendar last week. Well, so we are kind of tapering into this event. So
Oh
so
yeah.
I did last week we had some zone 6 intervals. Like I think we all agree it's good to keep the intensity going, and but they were more spaced out. This week I really just have some zone 4 intervals, 1 minute zone 4 openers, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I was encouraging people to go by RPE and really just kind of go race pace for 1 minute about 4 times. And that was the workout for today. You could really do it tomorrow. I like to do that ride the day before an event. So
That's
I
what I
actually
do.
took today off. I'm going to do the shakeout ride for Hincapie. And man, I'm so excited to meet everyone,
How
all of
long is your
the
drive to
the
Lehigh?
virtual friend. So 5 hours and 21 minutes
Oof.
on Google if I don't stop. Right.
Are you
So
leaving tonight or tomorrow morning?
no, I have to drop my daughter off at school at 8. Like, kiddo, we got to get there 10 minutes early. Come on, we got to go to school. So yeah, no, my wife left for a business trip, and she knew I was going to Hincapie, but something she couldn't get out of, so she had to travel for the weekend. Our 8-year-old daughter is going to go to school, and I'm going to bolt for Pennsylvania, and she'll go to a friend's house after school and
Yeah.
stay over. And so she's all taken care of.
Good.
Yeah, we got a lot going on.
But driving legs are hard. I find driving more
That's
than
why I'm
about
glad I'm driving
4
right to the
hours.
shakeout. I'm
Yeah.
driving right to the
Not in your
shakeout.
chamois. Chamois time is not training time. Put your chamois on when you get
Oh,
there.
oh yeah, no, yes. Okay, good. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'll have it right beside me. No,
Yeah,
I will
exactly.
keep it packed. I change in the back of my pickup truck. Don't Not in the covered part, the back seat.
Okay. I was like in the back. Hi, world.
Not in the back, all out.
I'm
Yeah, no,
Greg.
it's got tinted windows and a big back seat, so
There you go.
I can get changed back there.
Good, 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 good.
But
You're
yeah, I was
excited?
just telling you. Oh, I'm super excited. But I was telling you before I hit start, like my road bike, I haven't ridden it in 2 years. So moved up here to Vermont to gravel heaven. I got a gravel bike, and I have not touched my road bike. I have a beautiful Trek Emonda, and I got it down and I lifted it. I'm like, that got me excited because it's super light compared to the bikes I ride, and started shining it up, did the whole chain wax thing, and scrubbed the cassette. So yeah, no, it's all ready to go. I do need some fluid in the tires, and I need some batteries for my power meter pedals, which that's a plan to stop along the way, because I didn't get to that today. But
because they're those little tiny little pedal batteries.
Yes,
I have a ton of them right here if you'd like. Oh yeah, that doesn't work that way. But
anyway, so yeah, that's my day. I've been just tying up loose ends and getting ready to go. Yeah, so I think a lot of people are in the same boat. You know, people who are coming to the event. I think just getting it down. And I wanted to go over first. I want to go over a couple things. The shakeout ride. So Ken Miller. First of all, thank you, Ken Miller, for talking with me. And he's got a 25-mile shakeout. And Lori, tell me what you think here. He's got a 25-mile, but I've got several people doing the 53-mile route, and that's a stretch, the 53-mile route. So a 25-mile shakeout ride might not be right for them. And
but so is it relatively flat, the shakeout?
Well, here's the shakeout that I made. I actually just cut it in half.
Got it.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
And so, 12 miles, I think, is more appropriate if you don't want to spend a couple hours out on your bike the day before, starting at 2:30. I think that's a lot. So for me and Linda and Bob, anyway, I think we're gonna do this shortened shakeout ride. And if anybody wants to join us, please feel free to join us on this route. And I'm happy to share this. We'll start and finish at the same place as the Peloton Road Riders. And if any Peloton Road Riders want to do this shortened route, and actually I'm going to ask Ken or anybody else if these roads are all right. Like I try and pick the heat map roads that are more heavily traveled by bikes. Like this Valley Road didn't look like it was a good cutoff point because it was not very heavily traveled by bikes. Right. You know what I mean?
It looks great.
I've got this. 12 miles, 514 feet. You know, we can take our time. We can look at we can wait for anybody. We can just take our time and do that. So,
well, and I think when you're planning a pre-race ride, I think the important thing to consider, it's based on your pace as well. So if I'm a faster rider and I want to do about an hour, because what's my goal in my shakeout? I want to get my legs primed. I don't want to tap into my glycogen stores. And so once I start doing rides that are longer than an hour and a half, that starts to affect my ability to do the ride the next day, I think. And so, and especially if you're a slower rider and you're trying to keep up with a faster group, whether or not that pressure is there, you're going to feel it. So doing something a little shorter for the riders who are less experienced and maybe riding a less efficient bike, like a hybrid or whatever, I think doing an hour is going to be much more appropriate than doing 2 hours. 2 hours is definitely going to impact the next day. Whereas the faster riders, they can knock out an hour, 25 miles in a little over an hour, or an hour and 15 minutes or whatever. So that's appropriate. When I rode the shakeout ride in Greenville, it was great. We got rained on. That was awesome. But I know, clean bike and rain. But everybody, I know, we really got rained on. It was like no one I had a base layer on, but a lot of people didn't. And they were like, the jerseys are sticking to their bodies and they don't have vests or jackets or anything. It was like, okay, we look like wet rats. But anyways, it was very well organized. Ken picked a really safe route. There were stronger riders who were kind of anchoring themselves throughout the group. So we had riders at the front who were helping lead, and riders in the middle, and riders sweeping, and no one was left behind. We regrouped at all the major intersections, and it was a really good experience. So
Sweet. Sweet.
yeah,
So,
you guys will
all
have a great
really
time.
good points. Exactly what I was going for the like a 1 hour type of thing. I don't need to
Yeah.
ride for longer than 1 hour, and yeah, so I'm going for that, and I think that's appropriate. If you want to jump on that, or if you want me, I'll share that route up, and hopefully Ken he knows the area better than I do, and if I picked a bad road that's going to put us in traffic, please let me know, and
Hmm.
I'll alter it. But and if you
Yeah.
need help getting it onto your device, I think that's also a good tool, and the Hincapie route onto your device. Even
Yeah.
though I believe everything is marked very well, it's still kind of cool to have it on your device, because then you know when the hills are coming, and you know
Exactly. The grades and
what to
everything.
expect. Yeah,
And
yeah,
my
you get a
tip
little
for
bit more
that,
information.
depending on your level of comfort working with your Garmin or your Wahoo, is if you're staying at a hotel, many times hotel Wi-Fi is a pop-up type Wi-Fi versus a Wi-Fi with a password and a login, and it can be hard to get those routes transferred to your device. So I would do it at home if you haven't left yet. Get the routes up
Smart.
there and on the computer. If not, make sure while you're at home you pair your device to your phone's hotspot. So if you usually, because that will work like Wi-Fi versus the pop-up on the hotel Wi-Fi.
Smart.
Do you understand
Very
what I'm
good.
saying? Because a lot of the Wi-Fi
I
at
do.
hotels has a
I do.
portal
Yes.
basically that you go and you put your room number in, and that doesn't work when you're trying to do it with the device. And I've found myself in hotels where I cannot download a route or upload a route because of that. So you can learn from my mistakes and hopefully get everything
Exactly.
uploaded.
We try and speed the curve here, learn from our
Yeah,
mistakes.
exactly.
Speaking of mistakes, perfect segue. Traveling to an event, and you did this post in the group earlier, and lots of people had lots of things, and you had that picture of the bike and the sleeping bag and everything, and it just got me. I love it. I love it because there's so much going into it. Traveling to an event is so different from getting on your bike from your house and going out for a ride. There's packing, prepping. I like to visualize the whole day, and maybe this is not part of traveling and part of training and getting ready to execute, but visualize the whole day. And I think this helps bring the packing and prep into it. So let's, what time are you going to wake up? And what are you going to eat, and where are you going to eat? And how does that time with the start of the event? And what time do you need to arrive at the venue? And how are you going to dress? And are you going to get changed there or in the hotel room? And how long and how hard do you warm up that morning before you line up? And what time do you line up? You have to get to the starting line and think about the other riders around you. And you're going to start. And Ken said there's about 1,000, I believe, people in this event, and there's a rolling start. So there's a moto or a car kind of controlling the speed at start. And just think about that and go through it, and that might help you pack something, like maybe not that particular, but all of those things might help you pack and get ready. But I also like to go head to toe. Okay. I've had clients, and yes, I am guilty of not arriving at a race and my helmet's not in the car. Arriving at a race and my shoes are not in the car. And then you're scrambling around. You're going car to car. Can you borrow a helmet? Can you borrow shoes? So, like you said, learn from our mistakes. Glasses, if you need eye protection. So going head to toe, right? Helmet, glasses, jersey, base layer if you need it, gloves, long finger or short finger. I prefer the longer finger gloves almost always,
Hmm.
unless it's super duper hot, in which case I usually probably just go no gloves. Jason Alosio had a good tip where he starts a long ride with no gloves until his hands get sweaty, and then he puts the gloves on, and then he has a better grip. Like just something to mentally give him relief. He knows he's going to have something to get relief from. So that was a cool tip,
Interesting. That's a great tip.
right?
Yeah.
He rode from New York City to South America. So he's like, had a lot of tips, a lot of things
Yeah.
to keep myself mentally occupied.
Oh yeah.
That's a good story, his ride. So anyway, when to line up, the other riders, what could happen in the event. So yeah, you have to kind of visualize, could a flat tire happen? Could my chain break? Could somebody near me crash? And what does that sound like? And are you aware of the other riders around you?
And what happens in a crash? Just like in your car, I will say, don't be a looky-loo. Don't turn and look, because it's not uncommon when one person crashes.
I thought you meant in my car that I'm changing in. Sorry.
No, I mean when somebody else crashes on the road.
Yeah, I got you.
And if you're the one that crashes, stay there, count to 10 to make sure all the bikes have gone by you at that point. But then we need to provide care, because there's not going to be SAG and officials at every location on the course. And so maybe someone is going to need some help if they crash. So get beyond the crash. Don't look at it. Make sure the road is safe. And probably the very first thing I want to do is secure the road to make sure that a car doesn't come along and there's a rider down. And then we can call 911 and do all the other things. So someone else
crashes, you're going to stop and secure the road. No, that's no, that's awesome. That's awesome. Because we're all on the same side out there. Yeah.
We have to take care of each other.
Absolutely. They're cyclists.
Yep.
So yeah, good point. Good point. And I mention all of these things just to give them a little credit. It is actually scientifically proven. If you give your obstacles credit, they impact you a little bit less when they happen. Or maybe you have a contingency plan. So somebody crashes around you. Okay, you have kind of something, you have thought about what you're going to do, or you get a flat tire, you've thought about what you're going to do. So that whole process.
And that's a good point. In one of the posts earlier this week, we were talking with Linda Marie, and she was like, all the things in her head. And I was like, every time you think of something, write it down. Get it out of your head, because otherwise it's just going to swirl and keep creating anxiety. Instead, I can write it down. And then as I'm getting ready to go, I'm going to check my list and make sure that I've done all those things. If I rely on my memory, especially at our advanced age, it's very likely it won't happen. So get it out of your head.
I got to share a text from Linda. Linda, sorry to put you on the spot here, but she says just this morning, she's feeling better, by the way. She's like, I just can't believe I'm doing this at my age. Wish I had discovered this lifestyle sooner in life, as it has given me a great satisfaction. It's so rewarding. Planning on all my outfits next week to highlight my finisher medal. I honestly feel like a kid on Christmas Eve. So, Linda.
She's going to wear her finisher medal all week, right?
Yeah, with different outfits. Yes.
Yeah, good for her.
That's one of the things here. I also like athletes to visualize the finish. Okay? Imagine the finish line. Imagine crossing the finish and getting your medal and the post-event meal. And if you're looking forward to a beer, that's great. And if just the feelings of success. I want you to imagine those feelings. If you've had them before, there's nothing better. And if this is going to be the first time, there's nothing better. So we're going to get through there, and the feeling of success and accomplishment, visualize the whole thing, and as part of the preparation. So maybe that gets away from the packing, but maybe it helps the packing as well.
I think mental preparation is a huge piece, right? If you can see it, you can be it. Somebody said that. I'm sure it was somebody important. But it's true, right? Whether you are a rider or a racer, when people say to me, oh, I can't do that, I can't win this race, I'm like, not with an attitude like that. You have to believe that you can do the thing. You have to visualize the thing,
yourself,
or you can't do it. Same thing in life. Exactly. I have a job interview, and I have to visualize that I can be in that job, that they're going to offer me that job, that I belong in that job. And it's true in sport. It's true in life. So
same thing here.
Yeah.
And everybody who's been following along and training, look at the class of people you are in, the class of athlete. You are going to do this cool event that normal people can't do, because you do have to be a trained athlete to do a 53-mile Fondo ride. So congratulations on getting to this point. That's awesome. And then next week, what do you do afterwards, right? We've got week... is this the week 3? No, it's week 4. Right? Week 4? Whoa. Okay. Well, why don't we go over the what's going to happen? So we'll circle back around to maybe talk about a rest week and talk about some other things. But let's get the workouts out, because that's what these briefings are about, right? What are the workouts for the the what are the workouts on the
Workouts.
Peloton
Aren't we
schedule?
just supposed to chit chat? That's what we do. uh, Peloton. It's going to be good. There's one change in the schedule some of you may not have even noticed yet because you may not have even logged in or tried to link into the classes, but there is one class that's gone away. So I made that update. It should be fine. One of the biggest changes I made was based on a conversation in a chat, and folks were saying, I don't feel okay checking off a box for a ride I didn't do. And so you'll notice as you go into the rides, the optional rides now say rest day or optional ride. So I want those of you who have not been checking those days off to go in and check them off because now you're checking off a rest day or an optional ride. So, yeah. Anyways, Monday, but let's go back before Monday. Let's talk about Sunday. What do people do on Sunday after their ride, after Hincapie?
After Hincapie, yeah. I mean, you could
What should
rest.
you do the day after a big
You
ride?
need to move. You need to move.
That's what I think. Yeah. So a
Yeah,
bike
you need to
walk,
move a little bit. Is it
basically.
a
I want
workout?
to,
No. Is it a
no, it's,
recovery? Yeah, but you need to move.
yeah. Get on the bike, move your legs, go for a walk, a gentle walk, a hike, whatever it is. But move your legs because that's going to aid in the recovery process.
Get the
That
blood
easy
flowing. Yep.
spin as you're finishing your ride or going to the parking lot on Saturday and then Sunday, just move your legs. If you do nothing, you're going to be fatigued, you're going to be tired, you're going to be sore. So, especially for those of you that this ride's a little bit of a stretch. So we want to move on Sunday. Monday is our rest day. And I would say, especially for you doing the event, take the rest day. We know every week I tell you how important this is, but it
Yeah.
is a very important day. The quality of your other workouts really depend on you taking rest before you do them. And that's why the schedule is built the way it is. So those of you who are like, Tabata was really hard this week. Well, you didn't take your rest day or you rode too hard on your easy endurance day. So take your rest day. Tuesday is the ride we had to correct. It's a 45-minute PZE with Ben. You have another option in a brand new class, so it's there and linked, and it should be awesome. Wednesday is our rest day or optional ride with Matt. We'll do a Zone 2 ride with Matt, 45 minutes. Thursday, we're with Christine. We're going to do a Power Zone Max ride. So no Tabata this week. We're going to do some nice hard efforts. And what I really love in these conversations, by the way, is people are starting to understand in the non-Power Zone rides how those efforts relate to their Power Zones. And that was one of the reasons why we do this. And so you'll find that doing our Power Zone Max may have some structure that's very similar to what we did in our Tabata.
That's a good point, Lori. Just people learning to feel what their zones are.
Yes.
And so not relying on looking at a number, but if you have a zone 4 prescription, go ahead and do it, but you don't get to look at the number. Learning to feel what the zones feel like is maybe a next level that we can talk about in the near future.
Absolutely. And also understanding how long you can sustain what intensity of effort. I think that's really important because a lot of times, especially with shorter efforts, we'll try to go too hard. We're so excited. We're like, I get to do a 1-minute effort or a 3-minute effort or whatever. And then we blow up after 45 seconds. It's like, okay, we have to figure out how hard is hard and how hard is moderate. So those are super important. Friday, we will have a good old rest day to get ready for the weekend. Saturday, we've got a 60-minute Power Zone endurance ride with Dennis. And then Sunday is a rest day or an optional Power Zone endurance ride with Olivia. It's funny. I don't think of Olivia as being endurance ever, but I know she does do endurance rides as well. I always think of Olivia as just being hard. Anyways, so there's one interesting thing that you'll notice as we developed this schedule for this week. If you're doing the core rides, so the 3 core rides, your time actually is going to be a little higher. Training stress score is going to be a little lower. And that's what I look at when I'm developing. So even though this is a cutback week, we're doing a little more time for the 3 ride option, but we're doing less intensity. So you're going to have a lower training stress score. For the 5 ride option, you're going to have about 4 hours. So that's a big drop down for us. And the TSS for the 2 rides, 148 for the 3 ride, 243 for the 5 ride. And like I said, more time in week 3 than week 3, but a lower training stress score. That's about it.
Yeah,
It's going to
awesome.
be another great week. And then we start building back up again. I can't believe we're
Exactly.
almost halfway there.
I know, right? This one's going quick for some reason. So here's my, can you see my calendar here?
I can.
So we have the Fondo Day Saturday, and yeah, I gave an endurance day a recovery ride. You can use your judgment on that if it needs to be shorter or if you're up for a little bit more. But the point is to enhance recovery on that day, and not to promote a strain that you need to recover from. And then I called week 4 transition week rather than calling it recovery week, because this is really kind of a transition from one period to another. Um, so I think you have a lot of chances to make your own decisions here again. But I did write down some goals, and reflect on your event is one that's really important, and take notes on that. I think you can learn a lot from the preparation, travel, uh, visualization, execution, and afterwards of your event. And I think in transition, take an extra day off the bike. It's just a suggestion. If you're really chomping at the bit and need that 5th day, fine, more recovery ride. But the point here is to recover mentally as well as physically. So all of the goals that I was thinking of. And then the workouts that I pulled up were pretty much 80/70 or PZE type rides, and just a mixture of easy pedaling. If you're feeling like you need a little bit more, go for it. I think you're going to ride how you feel, but the point of the week is to transition. You're not trying to elicit a strain that you need to recover from. You're trying to get to the next training block and recover from the last one. So I would, if you feel like it's right, go for these intensities, these 80/70s. I think taking Wednesday off, check the box for taking the day off and doing a strength workout, something different than you normally do on that Wednesday. And then I just made up this fun workout of endurance plus. So there is a 1 minute, again, scratching the surface of zone 4, but nothing to get you tired. From 1 minute at zone 4 should be a breeze at this point in your training and in this week. And the whole week should really promote a environment where you're ready to get after it the next week in week 5. I did just keep it to 1 hour both days, 80/70 ride on Saturday, and then a straight across zone 2 workout. I usually call that 75%. So I know it's right on the line of zone 2, zone 3, but 40 minute, look at your heart rate there. And look back. If you've gone through this whole training block, several training blocks, you've got one of these with a heart rate, and look at this 40-minute zone 2 block with a heart rate, and see where you're at the end of that week. That'll give a good indication of how well you have recovered from the whole process, and are you ready to get started again. Let's see. TSS, if we need a TSS, hang on. TSS for those workouts, 183, and that's down quite a bit from what we normally do, 233 this week and 259, so quite a bit low. It's called transition week.
I like that term.
That's my week.
Yeah. We started working on some fun stuff for the summer as well. I'm thinking about the fact that we're at the halfway point and I have to get ready for the next one. We've got a really cool Peloton challenge we're going to do. We're going to do a sprint challenge and work on power profiling. So again, another alternative to FTP as a benchmark. We're going to do some other fun stuff. So it'll be a short challenge. And we know that the summer is impacted by vacations and kids being out and that kind of thing. So we're going to do a 4-week challenge focused on doing that high-end intensity and improving your ceiling. So that'll be really neat.
Oh, cat's out of the bag. Now everybody knows what to expect. I love it.
Yeah, it's good.
I love it.
And then we'll go back to traditional challenges leading up to Hincapie in the fall. We wanted to kind of massage the calendar a little bit so we fit into that really well. So
Sounds
yeah,
good. Well,
yeah,
speaking of others and people knowing, well, I just wanted to give some shout outs. Well, I don't know if
yeah,
that's really a segue or not, but Ken Miller, thank you for spending time with me and recording that
yeah,
talk, and really looking forward to meeting you, Ken, and the other Peloton Road Riders and all the Team Opers people. So that's going to be cool. I've got a shout out for Meredith uh, Bibo. I'm so sorry if I said it wrong. But her question on physiologic benefits to Tabata after a PZE ride, and could the order be reversed? It's just that's a great discussion, and
hmm,
thank you, Jeff Heim and Coach Brian Hammond got in there with some really good answers. So that was awesome. Maureen Mason also started a discussion. She's now going to her a change in her life is bringing her to the morning time workouts, and she wanted to talk about fueling or nutrition to go around those workouts, and just starting those conversations is what that Facebook group is all about, and the team is all
yeah.
about. So I love to see that stuff. So shout
Yeah.
out, and I believe you've got a special shout out, yeah.
Oh yeah, not even a shout out, just a wow, this is awesome. Everybody knows Matthew Welch and the fact that he's been off the bike after he had a cardiac incident. He did a ride today.
Woohoo.
So nice. Zone one. I saw one little blip up into zone two, but I did not read the whole chat because I've been with clients all day, but it looks like he did a ride, and I'm hoping his cardiologist cleared him for that. And clearly the boss, the wife, hopefully was okay with it too. So, but good job, Matthew. Keep it easy. Follow your doctor's directions. You know what
Exactly.
the game plan is. Yeah, we're in it for the long
That's
game.
awesome. That's good to
So,
hear.
but
That's
super
good to
happy to
hear.
have you back on the bike. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's awesome. I mean, lots of good stuff going on here. Did you want to talk any more about Rest Week and what that entails?
I think
Think
it's
we
a
got
great
it.
conversation. Yeah, I've thrown a few prompts up on the Facebook page, and I think we're starting to, or as we want to call it, Transition Week. I think we're starting to have a greater appreciation for that. I had another client today, and we had a conversation. She's doing this challenge as well. She's also running full time, and I'm like, okay, we have to think about what our goals are, and is our activity helping us hit our goals, or is it just activity? And I think that's an important concept. So I think I really don't want to beat people over the head with it, but I would say appreciate the downtime. I'm appreciating these last 2 days that made me feel great. I went and saw my myofascial release person and got caught up on some errands and enjoyed that extra free time. And now I'm ready to hit it hard again today. So, which is good. We want to feel good when we work out, and we want to get the most out of those. And the only way to do it is really pay attention to the downtime too, whether it's in our intervals or our overall training.
I don't think we could
So,
say it enough different ways, enough times, enough. Yeah, whatever. Rest is
yeah,
rest, and you just don't get faster. You don't get fitter without it. You don't make
yeah,
the adaptations we're looking to make without the recovery. So yeah, ride. You had another good point. Is ride your easier rides easy. Don't ride a
yeah,
PZE up at the top of the zones, because you might have
right.
some Tabata coming the next day where you need to hit the top of the zones. That's the time. So
Yeah,
there's a time and place for everything. Let's get it separated out and sorted. And yeah, I think we'll just keep having the conversations and keep
yeah.
plugging away and watching the results. And man, we're doing awesome, I think. So let's
Yeah.
go to Hincapie and any other events that are out there.
I'm
Everyone,
so excited for y'all. I wish I was
yeah,
going.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
doing a century on Sunday. So, and a
Oh
few
yeah, I
people I
saw that.
noticed, Kathy Burke,
Kathy,
who is a
right.
coaching client of yours, and a couple of people have
Yep.
mentioned here in Northern California. There's a ride called the Sequoia, and the hardest version of it is 100 miles with about 10,000 feet of climbing. And that's what we're doing on Sunday.
Good for
So,
you.
which is interesting because I'm like, I haven't done a ride with more than, I think, 6 in a while. Maybe I've done a 7. And typically you look at the last 6 weeks of your training, you're like, okay, when's the last time I did this kind of intensity or duration? And I was like,
Yeah.
but when I look at the profile, it's like, okay, I know this long climb, no problem. I know this long climb, no problem. It's all kind of cruising in between. And I've done a bunch of 6,000 foot days right in a row here. And I think I'll be fine with 10,000 feet, but we'll find out. So next week if I'm not here, I died doing the Sequoia.
No, you'll
And
be fine. You'll be fine.
yeah, no, I think we're good. Training's been really solid this year, so I'm excited about this. But my last big road event, and then it's all gravel all the time. So
That is awesome. Sounds good. I
yeah,
love it. I love it. All right, cool. Well, we will say goodbye to everyone here, but see some of the folks in person soon, and we'll stay busy on the Facebook group and check in next week.
yeah. Have fun. Ride safe.
All right.